December 31st. Derek checks the app. 1 full year of automatic transfers, and the market has added $283. 9 years later, same app, same monthly amount, same fund, the market adds $7,936 in that single year. 28 times more growth. Not because she invested more, because the balance the percentage was working on had gotten bigger. This is the decade multiplier, the exact mechanism that makes a single dollar invested today worth 2.5 times more than the identical dollar invested 10 years from now. We're going to run that number precisely and benchmark all of it against real Federal Reserve data on where the typical American household actually stands. Derek is 30. She works in logistics, makes $61,000 a year. She has $4,000 in a savings account and nothing invested. This isn't a crisis. This is the median. This is where most people her age genuinely are. After federal tax, FICA, and state tax, her actual take-home is $3,996 a month. Her rent alone runs $1,654, over 40% of everything she brings home. She opens a Roth IRA and sets up an automatic transfer. $500 a month into a total market index fund, the first of every month, before she can develop an opinion about it. That's 12.5% of her take-home pay. After rent and this transfer, she has $1,842 left for food, her car, and everything else in a month. This is not an easy $500. That's the part that gets skipped when people talk about this decade. It isn't automatic because it's painless. It's automatic because painless isn't required for it to work. One thing to be precise about: if Derek's employer offers a 401k match, that comes first. Matched dollars are a guaranteed return, nothing else on this list beats, and we're deliberately not counting one here, so the math you're about to see holds for anyone, matched or not. Year 1. She's put in $6,000 of her own money. The account reads $6,283. The market added $283 for an entire year of discipline. It is, frankly, not much. If you're looking for a sign that this is working, year 1 will not give it to you. This is the part almost every finance video skips because it doesn't make a good thumbnail. The first few years of investing on a modest income look almost exactly like not investing at all. Here's the mechanism, precisely. A 10% return on $6,000 is $600. A 10% return on $100,000 is $10,000. Same percentage, same market, wildly different dollar outcomes, because compounding runs on the size of the balance, not on your effort. The first several years of investing are, mathematically, the least rewarding years you will ever have. Not because you're doing it wrong. There isn't enough mass yet for the percentage to produce a real number. Watch what happens to Derek's account as that mass builds. Year 5, $38,719. Contributed $30,000. Market gain that year alone, $3,357, more than half of what she put in with her own paycheck, for the first time. Year 9, $87,000. The market adds $7,936 that year alone. Remember year 1, $283. 28 times more from the same monthly amount, going into the same fund. Year 10. Derek is 39. The account reads $102,422. She's contributed $60,000 of her own money across the decade. The other $42,000 came from the market, most of it in the back half of the decade she almost didn't notice was working. Now let's check this against reality, not a hypothetical. The Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances puts the median retirement account balance for households under 35 at $18,880. For households 35 to 44, the median is $45,000. Derek, at 39, sitting at $102,000, is at more than double that median, not because she out-earned anyone, but because she started the compounding clock 9 years before most people in that bracket started theirs. The median household isn't behind because they're bad with money. The machine hasn't had enough years to build mass, and every year that starts later is a year it never gets back. Now, the exact number promised at the top. A single dollar invested at exactly age 30, left alone until 65, becomes $28.10. That same dollar invested at 40 instead, 25 years of compounding instead of 35, becomes $10.83. 2.5 times more on the identical dollar, for one reason. 10 extra years to multiply against itself. So let's answer the actual question this video promised. What number do you actually need invested by the end of your 30s? There isn't one number, there are three, depending on what you can realistically contribute. And here's what each one becomes by the time you're 39, and then by 65 if you simply leave it alone from there. At $300 a month for 10 years, $61,453 by 39. Left untouched, no further contributions until 65, $732,414. At $500 a month, $102,422 by 39. Left untouched to 65, $1,220,689. At $583 a month, the exact ceiling of what a Roth IRA allows in a year, $119,425 by 39. Left untouched to 65, $1,423,324. Notice what's identical across all three. What you contribute across your 30s is a small fraction of what the account is worth by retirement. At $500 a month, you put in $60,000 total. The account becomes $1.2 million. 95% of that final number was never money you earned. It was money your 30s self's decision earned for you for 30 years, without you doing anything else. One honest adjustment. 1.2 million 30 years from now doesn't spend like 1.2 million today. At a typical 2.5% to 3% inflation rate, its real purchasing power lands between $430,000 and $514,000 in today's dollars. Smaller and still real, the multiplication is genuine. The sticker price on the screen just isn't what it looks like at first glance. Now the honest counter. Because this only holds under specific conditions, and pretending otherwise would make this content instead of analysis. This assumes a 10% average annual return, which is roughly the long-run historical average for a broad U.S. stock market index. It is an average, not a guarantee, and any single decade can run well below or above it. This assumes the money stays invested. If you stop the automatic transfer during a downturn or cash out for an emergency, you don't just lose the money you withdraw, you lose every year of compounding that withdrawal would have generated afterward. The math doesn't scale down gently. It resets the clock on whatever you pulled out. Here's the number that should actually worry you. Delaying that same $500 plan by 5 years, 35 instead of 30, costs $768,000 at 65. The 30-year-old start reaches $1,898,000. The 35-year-old start, same amount, same fund, same return, reaches $1,130,000. Wait until 40 and it reaches $663,000. Less than a third of the 30-year-old outcome, despite contributing for 25 years, most of a working career. These are not people who did nothing. They did the same thing correctly on a different date. The date is the entire variable. So if you're in your 30s right now, here's what actually changes tonight, not eventually. The specific number isn't 300 or 500 or 583. The specific number is whatever you can automate before you see it, because the account that gets funded automatically every month for 10 straight years beats the account that waits for a year when things feel more stable, almost every single time, and it isn't close. The Federal Reserve's own data says the typical household in your bracket is sitting somewhere between $19,000 and $45,000. That's not a verdict on you. It's a snapshot of a decade that, for most people, hasn't started compounding yet. The one variable inside your control tonight is whether yours starts now or starts on the version of tonight that keeps arriving next year instead. If this changed how you think about the specific decade you're in right now, subscribe. We run the real numbers behind the financial decisions that actually shape the next 20 years of your money, not the ones that make a good headline.